When an application connects to services like Gmail, Google Drive, or YouTube, it's not longer just adding a feature, it's accessing users' data. And because the data is sensitive, Google requires application to meet strict security standards before they are allowed to operate in production. That's where CASA, the Cloud Application Security Assessment, comes in. Today, I will explain what CASA is, why it exists, and what kind of practices it evaluates in a fully generic high-level way. Hi, I am Nur Muhammad, working as a senior software engineer. Today, I will explain you what is CASA and why we need CASA certification to use Google sensitive APIs. So, what is CASA? CASA is Google Security Assessment Program for application that uses sensitive or restricted Google APIs. In simple terms, before an app can access high impact users' data, Google requires a structured security review to ensure the application follows modern security best practices. CASA focuses on reducing common web security risks, ensuring safe handling of sensitive data, encouraging strong security defaults, preventing accidental exposure or misuse. It is designed to raise the overall security baseline across the ecosystem. The question here arises, why Google need the CASA certification before it allowed us to use its sensitive APIs like Gmail, Google Drive, and YouTube? So the main point here is when using the sensitive APIs of Gmail, what we are doing, we are sending and processing users email on his behalf. We are accessing users personal files, and in case of YouTube, what we are actually doing, we can actually create YouTube channel, can upload, delete YouTube videos, can comment on YouTube videos and hide YouTube comments, and many other things which a simple user can go on the YouTube and can handle it from YouTube settings. That all things can be easily managed and handled using YouTube APIs. So now you can have some understanding that why CASA is required by Google, allow its users or developers to use its sensitive APIs. So if an application is poorly secured, if the application developer do not protect the security headers and configuration properly, even a very small weakness can lead to data leaks, privacy issues, account compromise. So that's why the CASA exists. The CASA exists to reduce those risks before they even affect the real user. So the main purpose of CASA is to reduce the risk even before they actually exist. So reduce the accident before it actually happens. So it's a precautionary measure to reduce the effect to the real user. So at this point, we already know what is CASA, why it exists, and what's the purpose of CASA. But the question as a developer majorly arise. So we can go for CASA, but what it actually evaluates in our application? Is it business logic? It's our server handling or what? So this is the main question which arise in everyone's mind. The major thing, the CASA evaluates secure handling of authentication tokens, the access tokens, because these are the actual thing on which Google decide that what access view people have on the basis of your access token. Protection against common vulnerabilities like SQL injection and misconfiguration. Proper security headers and browser protections so that our app is running in multiple browsers and it will run securely. So also it evaluates the safe handling of sensitive data and secrets. Control to prevent unintended data exposure. The goal of CASA is not protection. It's never protection. It's eliminating weak defaults and obvious attack surfaces. So if I'm going to evaluate my application via CASA, how team usually prepare for CASA? Most of the times, the application already worked correctly before CASA. Typical areas team strengthen include tightening security headers, reducing unnecessary server information in responses. So what do you mean here about unnecessary server information in response? Sometimes when an application is involved front end and back end, there is a time like front end needs just few fields from the back end, but back end actually sends too much information to the front end, which at that point is some garbage value. We don't need that value at the front end. So teams should reduce that API responses, that they do not send extra responses, extra values in the response, making caching safer for sensitive responses. Sometimes we need some data again and again, so we cache them. So teams need to make sure that the data they are caching is properly secured. Applying defense in-depth control. Individually, small things which we can do collectively, they are major security upgrades to our application. Next point, security without public disclosure. The main concern of CASA is never to disclose your internal architecture. They never want to know how you are handling things, how you are using their APIs, how you will use the response from their APIs in your production app. Their major concern is how you handle the tokens, how much they are secure in the application. Is there any chance from where the data can leak? One important point which I need to share here, security doesn't mean publishing internal configuration. Responsible teams usually share their security approach, their commitment to best practices, high level improvements, but there are things they avoid sharing. Infrastructure details, token flows, encryption internals, system endpoints. Because the good security protects both user and systems. So, what are my final thoughts on CASA? CASA isn't just a compliance step. So, CASA basically is a Google way of ensuring application creates user data with the level of care it deserves. As more platforms expose powerful APIs, security assessment like these are becoming standard across all modern SaaS products. And that's a positive shift not only for developers or companies, it's a major positive shift for users alike. Thank you. So I hope you have the enough information about CASA and what is it and how Google evaluates your application when it's come to CASA certification.